This morning, Saudi Arabia is bombing rebels who have been sweeping through Yemen. It's a country of huge importance in the U.S. fight against terrorists. The Saudi airstrikes are targeting rebel military positions and fighters in the capital. CBS News national security analyst Juan Zarate is with us to talk about the new military action, both in Iraq and Yemen. Juan, good morning.
Good morning, Nora.
Let's first talk about where there is U.S. military action, and that is in Iraq. This is a significant shift. How much of this is about Iran?
A lot of it is, Nora. What you have is the U.S. actually responding to Iraqi requests for support, but in many ways trying to reassert its influence in Iraq, especially in the wake of Iranian influence. The Iranians have been backing the Shia militia that have been trying to take Tikrit, and the U.S. now is trying to regain momentum on behalf of Iraq and trying to push the Iranians a bit aside. And so this is part of that ongoing battle for influence within Iraq.
So what's at stake for the U.S. here?
Well, in part, it's support to the Iraqi government. Tikrit is just the start of the battle. Of course, the big prize here is the battle for Mosul. And if we stall, if the Iraqis stall in Tikrit, there are going to be real challenges in the attempts to retake Mosul, Iraq's second largest city. That's going to be a tough battle, and the U.S. wants to maintain momentum.
Let's turn now to Yemen, where we learned yesterday that Saudi Arabia and some other Persian Gulf countries have gotten involved there in a bombing campaign. Really complicated, but again, these are Sunnis worried about growing Iranian and Shiite influence.
Yeah, keep in mind that you have the Houthi rebels who have been marching south. These are Iranian-supported rebels and forces attacking the existing government, President Houthi. Houthi has asked for support from the Saudi government, and what you have, Nora, now is the quickening of this conflict between Saudi Arabia and Iran, this proxy battle between Sunni and Shia forces really coming to the fore. And what you see in Yemen is really a quickening of that battle.
And Juan, how important is Yemen to the United States?
Yemen's critical for a couple of reasons, Vlad. First, we have counterterrorism needs there. Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula still is there. The Islamic State is pretending to establish a presence, and we have to ensure that terrorist threats don't come from there. The fact that you have instability, security forces split, the fact that we don't have an embassy presence anymore, we've lost our special forces on the ground, that's debilitating. In addition, you have this issue of whether or not Yemen really becomes an accelerant for the fight between Sunni and Shia.
And any of this timing interesting, given that the talks with Secretary of State John Kerry and others about the Iran deadline is approaching on March 31st.
Absolutely. This is three-dimensional chess, Nora, because you have the quest for influence and hegemony and a quest for the U.S. to not only sign a nuclear deal, but to determine how to deal with Iranian influence around the Middle East.
Juan Zarate, thanks very much.
Thank you.